Each time I come in wild nature, I observed how it becomes much more easy to be in a state of presence and awareness. It's much more easy to sustain this state of presence. So how come? How come this happens each time I come in nature? Especially in wild areas, wild nature. Something in me observably gets calmer. It's like a certain invisible anxiety, which usually I do not notice it in my daily life. When I'm at my house, let's say, or doing my things in my daily routine, in the village that I've been living, at that house on the hill. So even there, even though it's a much more secluded area, it's not a main city, I think there is a constant invisible anxiety running almost behind my conscious awareness and running all the time. But here in wild nature, I don't know, for some reason, I was sitting here near the river preparing to eat, and I've observed, because I have this state of constant self-observation and internal observation of my inner states, I observed how different it is. Because before preparing to eat, I've developed this practice of bringing myself into a state of presence. And now I can distinguish how my internal system is feeling when I'm at my house, let's say, in the village, and how my internal system was when I was here in wild nature. It was a completely different experience. It's like, as I said, a certain anxiety, a certain permanent anxiety that I do not even notice it when I am in the village, here diminished. And I felt, I don't know how to explain it, that I felt just much more at ease with everything. But nothing happened, see, nothing, no event happened to ease my anxiety or to make me more calm or nothing. I just stayed here for some time, and I was sitting near the river, and there were these large pine trees, and I just feel different. I feel differently here. This my internal system feels differently and reacts differently, and there is less anxiety, there is less of this, I could call it existential anxiety. It's just, I just come here in wild nature, and all of a sudden I feel more and more like myself. My true natural senses of, let's say, expression comes back. So much inspiration comes when I'm in wild nature. I feel a surge of creativity. All my past ideas of projects, let's say, that I wanted to build start to make sense once again, and it just feels like I am worthy of existence. I think if I would put it into a single phrase, this is how it feels. Here in wild nature, this existential anxiety just lessens, and I just feel naturally worthy of existence. I feel zero need to prove myself. I feel zero need to convince anybody. And I feel extremely, let's say, joyous of myself, if that makes sense, of my own existence. It's just I see so much beauty all of a sudden in some of the things that I do and some of the things that I am, some of the ways in which I am, and I feel naturally confident here in wild nature. My true confidence starts coming back, while when I go in the village and in the world of people, my natural confidence starts to lower, almost without my will. So it's just out of my own will. I just see how I feel like less and less confident, my true confidence, I mean. Not overconfident, just natural confidence in myself, without explanations, just natural confidence in being exactly what I am, how I am, in the way I am. But when I go into the village, all of a sudden I feel, oh, he's like, no, I shouldn't have thought like that. No, he's like, oh, what crazy ideas I had when I was in the wild. Like, oh, how, no, nobody would understand if I published those recordings that I recorded there. No, it's just like people will think I'm either a hippie, either I'm insane, either I'm delusional, either I'm, high on opium, all sorts of things. But and so much doubt starts creeping in when I go into the world of people. And it's just obvious by now. It's just obvious that something happens there in the world of people. For example, right where I am right now, there is no phone signal. There is nothing. It's just wild nature. No phone signal. So I think this also aids to this mental clarity and the natural balance and natural confidence that starts coming back to me in my own soul as I stay more here in wild nature. So it's definitely something happens there in the world of people. Even when one human being or a car or something starts driving by, I already feel that anxiety coming back. So it also has to do with technology, because even when I'm in the village at the country house, if I go 1 or 2 days without any looking at the laptop, any looking at the phone or anything, I can already sense a similar effect of feeling naturally more confident, feeling once again filled with inspiration. All sorts of inspiration starts coming to me. Inspiration for like this true knowledge that comes from within. I start understanding things and seeing things. Then inspiration, of starting to do things. I don't know, just things in this world, Just maybe inspiration to for example, make one of these projects that I had in mind for years now, but I've never started it, or just renovate the room that I'm living in at the country house. Just, things which usually I think this anxiety and this, permanent state of depression makes me think like, oh, what's the point, It's just, what's the point of building anything in this world? This is when that existential anxiety, it takes hold of me, And I think like I can definitely see how it takes hold more and more as I use technology more and more. So it's definitely obvious by now. I've tested with this many times. It's when I stay longer periods of time on the laptop, especially for me, if I, check my emails, see anything that has been, you know, said on some of the YouTube videos, or if I, for example, go on YouTube, it's the worst. Just so much crap on YouTube, by the way. Just to see the videos that people publish, it just makes something in me extremely infuriated and extremely angry. Just to see the bullshit. It's just so much bullshit. Like, I don't think many people realize that. I don't even know how to say that. Just YouTube is a bullshit hole. It's just everything, everybody's just lying all day long on YouTube. Some of them lie consciously, but others lie unconsciously because they lie to themselves. And all of them, they just try to create a story of who they are and wanting to make themselves seen and appreciated by the others and whatnot, you know. Everybody's lying to everybody else, trying to get a bit of attention. It's just lies all day long on YouTube. So, but I still, you know, I still open YouTube and I still watch it from... Now I do not watch anything. Like in the past I would have watched... I would have opened YouTube at least once a day and seen what, you know, what some people that I looked and I watched their materials, if they have published something, and then I would scroll a bit to see what's in the world, you know. And but now it's just, I think it's, I'm just opening and looking at whatever happens on YouTube, maybe once in 2 or 3 days or something. Or I don't know, it has been even less in some periods. But that thinking, just looking at YouTube and seeing all the bullshit and seeing all the lies and seeing how people... It's not necessarily the bullshit that feels disturbing and really, really makes something in me extremely infuriated. It's seeing how many people believe in the bullshit and they take the bullshit to be the truth. That's what feels like... I think this is what puts something in me in a state of depression. Depression and sort of like disheartened. It just makes me almost like without hope. It makes me feel without hope for any, like, for seeing anything ever changing in this reality. It just makes me hopeless. It makes me depressed. It makes me... It's beyond anger. So this is the world of humanity. This is the world of humanity. Everybody is lying to everybody else, trying to tell a story to themselves and to everybody else, and a story which is just a false idea of their existence. It's just they are trying to sell themselves. Like, you know, like they would market their own lives. They are just trying to sell a story that they themselves do not even believe in it. It just sounds nice, it sounds right for their mind. So here in wild nature there is no story. Here in wild nature I have no idea what I am. I have no idea what everything is. I just am. I just see a mushroom. If I recognize it, I pick it up if it feels the right thing to do in that moment. Sometimes I cook them, sometimes I just leave them be. Not all mushrooms, even though are edible, signal to me that I should pick them up. I only pick them up if it really feels like I should do that. So I listen. I'm in a constant state of reception here. I'm in a receptive mode. I listen as much as I can to the environment around me, and to my internal environment as well. So I listen to how my inner being is responding to the outer environment. So this is how the outer environment can communicate with my inner being. And this is how a mushroom can tell me, hey, yeah, you're allowed to pick me, or Maybe not. But if I listen internally, I can hear the mushroom. I can hear it through my internal self. So I'm in a constant state of receptivity. I feel like a child. It's just I'm looking at the things, I'm looking at the water, I'm looking at the pine trees, I'm smelling the resin on the bark, I'm collecting plants, I'm making a tea, I'm eating my, meal that I have once per day, simple meal with, today I had some tahini and some date syrup on top, and some rice cakes, and some tea made with plants from around here. And I walk barefoot, I smell the air, I gather the garbages that I find in nature, and I just am. Sometimes I write things, I have a, clipboard with me with paper and a pen, and I write things down when I have inspiration and ideas come. Sometimes I record things like I'm doing now. It's simple, it's natural, it's enlivening. I start to feel more and more like myself. I start to feel like these trees are understanding me better than any human being ever had. I feel the nature around is closer to something in me than any human being I've encountered. And I just feel seen in a way I haven't felt by human beings. And I believe this is the effect that anybody is to experience if it would find the wild nature and it would sit lengthier amounts of time in one wild nature. So it has to be the wild nature, like no phone signal, few people coming around, as wild as one can find. I feel some human beings would feel the same effects and it would benefit from this, because this is restoration. Not only that my physical body gets restored, it's my soul that gets restored and my mind as well. So all three portions of my being, body, mind and soul, especially at the soul level for me, I can feel the restoration. I also feel alone. Sometimes I miss having somebody next to me with which I could share this experience. I miss having somebody next to me that feels the same and is able to comprehend things in the same way, so we can see similar things, so I don't even need to speak with this person. I miss sharing these experiences with my people. I miss them. I miss them so much. I miss my true friends, my true people. And I miss my true lover. I miss them all. And my mother and my father. They are always there with me, here with me, invisibly in everything around. It's like their picture would be in everything around me. It's like I see their faces when I look at the pine trees. I see them. I recognize them. It's them that I see. It's my mother and my father. And they are looking at me through all of these apparently mundane nature. They are looking at me through each of these pine trees. It's their eyes. I can see them. I miss my people so much.